Just got a call from the realtor that the people buying our house might be backing out.
Our house has officially been on the market for 25 days, and I don't understand why it hadn't sold yet. Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my house? You don't like it? You don't want to see it?
All across the country, homeowners are running out of options. They need to sell, but no one's buying. And the longer their homes sit, the more money they lose. If you're not careful, you could be next. What happens when your dream home turns into a nightmare? Let's find out.
I'm a homeowner. I've been a homeowner since 2020, and yes, I am selling my home. That is for various reasons. The main reason is because the financial responsibility outside of the mortgage is just too much. The two added together, the mortgage plus the too much for your girl. Let's just say 5 years ago, it wasn't too much. 5 years later, now it is. Another reason is that I'm really looking to just restart. I don't know if that means in the same city, different neighborhood, different city, different state, whatever. I don't freaking know. My house has currently been on the market for 39 days. From what I'm hearing, the market just not looking too great. Not looking too great. I definitely thought this home was going to sell within 2 weeks. Awkward. So now, of course, I'm questioning every freaking thing per usual.
Before you buy a home, it's important to understand that there are lots of expenses beyond the mortgage, property taxes, and insurance. You've got repairs, maintenance, and maybe even landscaping, and potentially even things like replacing appliances, pest control, and higher utility bills, to name a few. So before you even start house shopping, figure out what you can comfortably afford. That means factoring in everything, not just the monthly mortgage. To make it easier, I created a free home affordability calculator. It gives you an estimate of what price range potentially fits your budget, and there's a short video that walks you through how to use it. The link is in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. If the home's been on the market for 39 days with no interest, it's either not priced correctly or not marketed correctly. When a home sits too long, buyers start to think there's something wrong with it. A good realtor should help her price the home based on local comps and explain what's keeping buyers away, not just blaming the market. But I commend her for attempting to buy a house for her family on just her income. But do you think it's a bad idea for her to sell now, or should she try to hold on until the market improves? What happens when you have to move, but nobody wants to buy your house? Let's take a look.
I'm gonna keep it completely real with you guys. I am 2 weeks out from moving from Charlotte, North Carolina to Charleston, South Carolina, and I am officially freaking out. I'm smiling, but I'm freaking out because we are selling our house in Charlotte and it has not sold. So it's now looking inevitably like we are going to be paying a mortgage on top of a rent payment. Before you come for me in the comments, I have to move because my job is now on site after I've been remote for almost 4 years. So we don't have a choice. We have to be there by a certain date. And, you know, I thought that this house would definitely sell, but if nothing else, I thought we would have like a little bit more traction and showings. But we've had 5 in 30 days, which is not good. The thought of paying a mortgage while we're also paying rent is mind-blowing to me because that money could be spent on living someplace way cooler, than Charleston, South Carolina. We could live in a really nice place in New York, in LA, in Chicago. There's just so many options that would be my first choice over just having a house sit empty in Charlotte while living in Charleston. I think just for my own mental health, rather than continuing to post about my selling journey of this house, I'm gonna start posting about moving and trying to get excited about that. The 2025 housing market is wild. Follow along my moving journey and see if I'm stuck with this house forever.
This is a tough situation because she had to move for a job, which you can't always control. If they've only had 5 showings in 30 days, my first instinct is that the house isn't priced correctly. Otherwise, way more people will be interested. If I was her, I'd drop the price immediately. Some sellers still think it's 2021 or 2022 when buyers would pay almost anything for a home. I'm not saying this is her, but those days are over. One of the most important jobs of a good realtor is to provide sellers with data, showing what homes in the area actually sold for so they can set a realistic price. By the way, if you're looking for a realtor in your area, I'm a licensed realtor and can get you connected to someone in your local area. So you can click the link in the pinned comment for more information on that. One thing many people don't realize is that the agent doesn't set the price, the seller does. Given how urgent her timeline is, she should consider pricing the home below market value to stand out, even if it means selling at a loss. What do you think she should do? Let me know what you think. Sometimes a buyer crosses the line, and this one definitely did.
Just got a call from the realtor that the people buying our house might be backing out because They were here yesterday for inspections, and the inspections went great. There's literally nothing wrong with the house. But, of course, they ask my husband, what do you do for a living? And we say, oh, he's a stay-at-home dad. And then the questions follow, well, what do you do then? And I said social media. And they acted like it was so cool. They were like asking all these questions. Like, how do you make money doing that? How many followers do you have? And I had mentioned that I did a post about us moving. I thought it would like ease their mind. Like, we didn't post to our 1 million followers that we're selling our house. They took that as we have a stalker, which is why we're moving. If we had a stalker, we would not be here. My kids wouldn't be playing outside right now. I don't know if I'll post this because I'm such an ugly crier.
I've never heard of anything like this. Those are really private questions to ask, but I also think they share too much information. The potential buyers crossed the line and made assumptions that didn't make sense to me. Then they said they're moving because they had a stalker. Based on what? I wonder if that accusation was just a cover up for the real reason they lost interest, because I just don't get it. I'm not blaming her for what happened, and like anyone else, they probably outgrew the home or just wanted to move to a different area. One thing we can take away from this is that you never really know people's intentions, and I'm honestly at a loss for words here. So why do you think they assumed her and her family had a stalker? Let me know what you think. It's important to have realistic expectations when you're selling a home, and we'll see why in this next clip.
Tell me why selling your house will test your patience more than anything else on the planet. Our house has officially been on the market for 25 days, and I don't understand why it hadn't sold yet. Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my house? You don't like it? You don't want to see it? You don't want to live here? It's an amazing house. Those are all thoughts that go through my mind. I'm aware, totally aware that it takes longer than 25 days. But I'm not a patient person, so why hasn't it sold? In all honesty, I know it's going to take time to sell our house. So if you are in the process of selling your house or have sold your house recently, what are your tips and tricks to get it sold quicker? Besides dropping the price, because we can't be doing that. And my realtor's phenomenal. I think the thing that's driving me the most crazy is having to keep it clean 24 hours a day. I'm a clean person most of the time anyway, thank goodness. Keeping your house clean to show or be prepared to show, that's a whole nother level of clean. This is the first house that we have ever sold. So, you know, I just need my house to sell so we can move on.
25 days isn't a long time unless homes in that area typically sell faster, which probably is not the case here. Her first mistake is saying they can't drop the price, but realistically, price is almost always the main issue. I hope her phenomenal realtor is telling her the truth about the market and being honest about whether the home is actually priced correctly. Beyond that, I hope the home presents well. I hope it's clean, staged, and updated enough for the price she's asking for. What tips do you have from her? Let me know in the comments. What happens when sellers refuse to drop the price? Let's take a look. But first, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to get better at real estate investing, you got to follow this channel.
Hey sellers, I have something really hard I have to tell you. We're in the middle of a negotiation and we have the buyers and we're talking to the listing agent. This is happening right now. It's 9 o'clock at night. And we're looking at comps and the house has been sitting on the market, so we put in an offer that is in comparable value. And the agent said, well, no, because they've already given up $35,000. To which I reminded him, your seller's not being generous in giving up $35,000. You were never going to get that price anyway. After 3 months on the market, if you were going to get that price, you would have got it already. So it's not generosity, it's market value.
Now, what the agent may have meant to say is my commission will be lower, so this offer won't work. In my opinion, this is self-sabotage, and these are the kind of folks who are truly delusional. Nothing will ever sell for more than someone is willing to pay. That's just how it works. As she said, they're still on the market after 3 months, so there's a big problem here. And some sellers somehow believe that they're owed a certain amount of money, but the market doesn't care what you believe you're owed, and that's exactly why the house won't sell. I hope this seller and agent wake up, because if they don't adjust, the home will never sell. So whose fault is this? The seller or the agent? Let me know what you think. In the next clip, we'll take a look inside the home of someone who's struggling to sell.
Okay guys, day 62. We are a military family in Texas trying to sell our house before we PCS. So I have showed you guys the front porch, the entryway, the living room, and now today I'm going to show you guys the kitchen. Okay guys, so we do have an open floor plan. So right off the main living room, this is what you see with the kitchen. Okay, so this is not the fridge that came with the house. We did buy this fridge when we moved in. This is our pantry. Here's what all the cabinets and appliances look like. So we just changed out all the bulbs to daylight bulbs. It made such a big difference, so thank you guys for that tip. Unfortunately, there's still one light bulb up there that is not working, but we did change the rest of them to daylight bulbs, and now I'm going to show you guys the pantry. Okay, so here is the pantry. It's a really good sized pantry. I'm thinking about taking down this fall decor that we have up here, but yeah, any feedback about the kitchen?
The kitchen looks solid and clean. If someone wants to make some updates to the floors, cabinets, and counters over time, they can. But in my opinion, it looks moving ready to me. Some folks might prefer a gas stove as well. What I'm curious about is how this kitchen compares to similar homes that have sold in the area. In the comment section, she mentioned that homes in her area stay on the market for about 41 days, and hers is many days over that. She also mentioned in the comments that she bought the home a few years ago for $255,000 and is currently listed for $245,000. And I have a feeling that the price is going to keep dropping. Your realtor should be able to explain how your kitchen, bathroom, and other features compare to what's been sold and what's currently on the market. So what do you think about the kitchen? Is there anything about the kitchen that you would change? Let me know what you think. In the next clip, we'll see the outside of the home.
Okay guys, day 64 of trying to sell our house. We are a military family in Texas. We've been on the market for over 2 months, and we are trying to sell this house before we PCS. So today we are in the backyard. This is what it looks like. It's hard to grow grass in central Texas, so we do our best, but this is the backyard. And then this is the view from the back door. The backyard does wrap around on both sides. And then here's the other side of the yard. We have gotten some feedback that our yard is on the smaller side, which there's really nothing we can do about that. And then we've gotten feedback about the fence, like the space between our fence and the neighbor's fence, but there's nothing we can do about that either. So if you guys have any advice about things we can change, let me know.
The backyard looks solid to me and has a nice amount of space overall. She mentioned getting feedback that the yard is kind of small, but the real question is how it compares to similar homes in the area. Someone in the comments said, just keep lowering the price. And she replied that she hates that that's the correct answer, but honestly, that's real. What do you think of the yard? And is there anything that you would change? Sometimes there are things out of your control that can prevent a house from selling. Let's find out why.
If you've listed your house on the market, what is another thing that will affect the marketability of your home? Whether you want to believe it or not, your neighbors can affect the value of your home. And as real estate professionals, we are not allowed to make comments on neighborhoods due to fair housing laws. But if someone is thinking about putting a serious offer in on your house, you better believe they are going to be going to your neighborhood during the night hours, during the daytime hours, during all hours to see if that's a neighborhood they want to live in. And unfortunately, I love pets as much as the next person, but if your neighbor has aggressive dogs or dogs that are barking at all hours of the day and night, that will be something that they will take into account before putting in an offer, if they decide to put in an offer for your house at all.
This is a tough one because sometimes you can move into a neighborhood and it can change negatively over time. You might even have neighbors who don't keep their home in good condition, and it ultimately ends up being an eyesore. As much as we've discussed HOAs, I can understand why people prefer living in one, because at least there's an enforced standard for how every home should be maintained. What type of neighbors would you not want to live next to? I want to hear your thoughts. At the end of the day, these stories show that homeownership isn't always simple as buying a house and watching it grow in value. There are a lot of moving parts, from unexpected expenses, job changes, stubborn pricing, slow markets, and even neighbors you can't control. The truth is the housing market can shift fast, and if you don't plan ahead, you could easily find yourself in the same position as many of these homeowners, stressed, losing money, and stuck with a home that simply won't sell. That's why it's important to know exactly what you can afford before you buy. My free home affordability calculator can help you figure out what price range potentially fits your budget. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment. And if you're already looking to buy or sell in the next year, I'm a licensed realtor and can get you connected to an agent in your area who understands your goals in the current market. You can also find that information in the pinned comment. Remember, the goal isn't just to buy a house, it's to buy wisely and keep your finances stable once you do. Now that you know about the problems that sellers are having, I want you to learn about how to avoid unaffordable mortgage payments. Check out this video right here.